Hello again, Nerd Squad, and thanks for joining me. My name is Amanda McKnight, and I will be your host for today's Top 10 list, where we talk about other potential Marvel heroes that we would love to see join the MCU. A lot of these heroes have a place close to my heart, but I couldn't fit everyone on the list, so if there is someone you would like to see make it into the potential part 2, let me know in the comments below. Gwenpool, anyone? And if you love the MCU, please tap that like button and give this video a thumbs up so we know you want even more MCU content. Okay, let's get into it. Number 10, Abigail Brand. We have Nick Fury, we have Maria Hill, but I want to know where Abigail Brand is at. Now that we have integrated the idea of the cosmic superheroes into the Avengers by tying in the Guardians, and have introduced the Skrulls to the MCU, I think this would be a perfect time to add in Abigail Brand. Brand is to the SWORD organization what Fury is to S.H.I.E.L.D. But what is SWORD? It's the Sentient World Observation and Response Department. Basically, they're there to monitor and deal with extraterrestrial threats. And they're also a pocket division of S.H.I.E.L.D. With the potential integration of X-Men into the world, Brand might also make for an interesting character as she is both mutant and half alien. And with Fury temporarily out of the MCU, Brand might provide an interesting foil to our current expected head of S.H.I.E.L.D., Maria Hill. Number 9, Sersi. Not to be confused with Queen Sersi.
There's no need for such formalities.
But you are right to confuse her with the Sersi of mythology, who stole Odysseus' heart and delayed him from his journey home for a solid year. Sersi is an Eternal. Eternals are a group of beings who are immortal. Though more durable, they are not impervious to death by means other than aging. Sersi has been around since the time of Gilgamesh. In fact, Gilgamesh is also an Eternal. Sersi was on the Avengers roster for a time, and later in the New Eternals comic series, she joins a superhero team comprised of fellow Eternals and adopts the hero name Mesmer. Being a history nerd, I really enjoy the Eternals, and hearing their stories from the past as well as seeing how they as individuals have evolved with the progression of time is super cool. Number 8, the Fantastic Four. I'm never gonna give up on you, Fantastic Four, even though maybe I should. The Fantastic Four have yet to have a successful film made about them, one that makes everyone see how awesome they are. And if ever there was a team that deserved that, I think the Fantastic Four does. They are so iconic in the comics and get involved with so many story arcs and events in the Marvel Universe. I mean, this is the first team of heroes that our neighborhood Spider-Man turned to for mentorship in the comics, back when he was just coming into his powers. And many other heroes in the MCU are friends and allies of the Fantastic Four. Black Panther was even a part of the team. He was one of the heroes to cover for Reed Richards and Susan Storm while they went away on a honeymoon. Not only that, but robbing us of this team has also meant that we miss out on all their amazing villains. Without Mr. Fantastic, we will most likely never get a Dr. Von Doom either in the MCU. Number 7, Professor X. Obviously, Charles Xavier would make an interesting addition to the MCU. Think of how many problems could have been solved if we had a telepath as skilled as Professor X helping our heroes. How much time do they often spend trying to find out villains' motives or figuring out who the villain really is? With the ability to read minds, that would be a lot easier, at least until their enemies developed anti-telepathic tech. But not only would Charles's abilities be useful for defeating villains, they would also be useful for helping heroes. For one, he could have most likely restored Carol's memories right away. He has, after all, already done this in the comics. We don't have any skilled telepaths in the MCU. The closest we have gotten is a hint of telepathy from Scarlet Witch and the empathic abilities of Mantis, and I think it's about time we change that. Number 6. Adam Warlock. Warlock has already been teased at in the MCU with one of the post-credit scenes from Guardians of the Galaxy 2. If you don't remember this scene, it's the one in which Aisha, the Golden High Priestess of the Sovereign, is revealed to have created a new style of birthing pod, and seems to be incubating a new being in it. She reveals that she is thinking of naming this new being Adam. Although when Warlock originally came into existence, he was referred to simply as him, he later was given the name Adam Warlock, and many believe this scene confirms that we will get to see this character in the MCU. In fact, in the comics, Aisha is actually the second creation of the Enclave, who also made Adam, and for a time was known simply as her. Her story is pretty complex, but Aisha is actually the name she was given while enslaved, and in the comics, she actually goes by the name Kismet. Kismet is known as a sister of Adam. Warlock was also a member of the Cosmic Avengers, and has been involved with the dismantling of the Infinity Gauntlet, and was also involved with the Infinity Watch. Number 5. She-Hulk. Also known as Attorney Jennifer Walters, She-Hulk could have popped up in many different places in the MCU, had Luke Cage's show not been cancelled. She-Hulk has been on many different teams in Marvel Comics, including Cage's Heroes for Hire. The two even dated for a while. She's also more famously known as the cousin of Bruce Banner. After she was shot and lay dying, Bruce gave Jennifer an emergency blood transfusion, which transformed her into the She-Hulk. One of the things that I love most about her character is her story arc. Jen was originally a very shy and timid person without much confidence before she became She-Hulk, and it is her powers that help her feel more confident. While Bruce Banner often feels as though he is a monster because he is also the Hulk, Jennifer feels as though She-Hulk frees her to be more herself, and as a result, behave with more self-confidence. In the comics, She-Hulk has been a member of the Avengers and worked as a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent. Number 4. Jean Grey. More specifically, I would love to see Jean Grey as the Phoenix enter the MCU. Jean Grey is such an OP X-Men. As we see the MCU advance in terms of power level with characters like Captain Marvel and Thanos being introduced, I would love to see other stronger characters join them. With Jean Grey as the Phoenix, we could also later have the events of the Avengers vs. X-Men storyline take place when the Phoenix Force returns to Earth to take hold of multiple heroes, including Hope Summers. The story of Jean and her evolution to Phoenix and later Dark Phoenix is one of my favorite story arcs. Jean is such a complex character burdened with too much power and potential. I know that we have a Dark Phoenix movie coming up, but would be more excited to see Disney and Marvel's take on this story. Number 3. Jessica Drew. Now that Into the Spider-Verse exists, almost anything seems possible when it comes to the multiverse, and one of the characters I would love to see integrated into the MCU through this window of possibility is Jessica Drew, aka Spider-Woman. She is just such a fun character and is so well written in the comics. I would love to see her witty and hilarious self make it to the big screen. She and Carol always have fantastic dialogue, and I imagine this could make for some awesome scenes in the Avengers series should Jessica Drew take her place on that roster. Or if we wanted to talk more about spider totems and potentially see our Spidey heroes take down the Inheritors, Jessica Drew could also be introduced as part of the Spider-Verse instead. Number 2. Wolverine. Who wouldn't want to see Wolverine in the MCU? He is probably one of the most popular X-Men ever, and get this, is also an Avenger. I know what you're thinking, Amanda, is everyone an Avenger? And the answer to that is yeah. I mean, at one point or another, pretty much everyone. Wolverine is integral to the new Avenger team, however. Tony Stark invites him hoping he can provide that last unique ingredient to his new team. Hugh Jackman has even admitted that he would be super interested in Wolverine entering the MCU, and specifically joining the Avengers. Unfortunately, it sounds like Jackman feels his time as Wolverine is over. But although we might not get Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, it's nice to see the actor who has played this character for so long would support this integration. Number 1. Black Cat. You may have already guessed that one. Spider-Man may be down and out for the count, but we know he will be returning to the screen in Far From Home. Although Peter and MJ will just be starting their romance in this upcoming film, with the European setting, it seems like a good backdrop to introduce renowned cat burglar Black Cat. One of her alternate versions from the Spider-Gwen comics is actually from Paris, so who knows? Either way, we need Black Cat in the MCU. She just has so many great stories and is such a deep character. Not to mention, her bad luck powers are super unique. She plays both hero and villain depending on the comic, and I would argue that her depth could earn Felicia Hardy her own standalone film. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to tap that subscribe so you don't miss any MCU or DCCU content. Birds of Prey are, after all, also coming soon! Yay! And the return of Harley Quinn. Woo! Thank you so much for watching. I'm Amanda McKnight, and this is Top 10 Nerd, reminding you, as always, to stay nerdy, YouTube.